Our next caller is Megan from Iowa.
Hi, Megan. How can we help you?
Hi. So I wanted to say thank you, like everybody always does. And then my question is related to shoulder workouts. So a little bit about me. I have a high stress job and I tend to be a little more high strung, just in general. So when I do like a true shoulder workout, anything that I really feel like in my traps or kind of that like sternocleidomastoid, afterwards I get horrible headaches just from the tension. Is there anything, like, do you have any tips? Is there anything I can do? I want that big, beautiful, like, shoulder look without the pain, ideally.
Yeah, this is actually not super uncommon. Okay, so when you look at the whole shoulder complex and the shoulder girdle, it's a very complex joint. There's a lot of moving parts there, and if there's an instability in one place, other places or other areas have to pick up the slack to create stability. It's very common for somebody to have tight, trap muscles or neck muscles or feel the tension in the back of the head anytime they try and do a shoulder exercise, because their shoulder girdle is trying to stabilize with those muscles that shrug. So I bet you if I had you try to pull your shoulders back, it would probably look more like a shrug because these muscles are probably always tight. Like right now, if somebody were push on those muscles in the trap area,
fighting it,
would it feel like, oh, that feels really good if somebody just came and pushed on them?
Or hurt.
Yeah. And then I always have like a knot like right above my scapula.
Yeah.
In between like the top of my shoulder and my scapula in the back.
Okay. Yeah. So we have to work on getting the strengthening the muscles that bring the shoulder blades back and down.
Back and down.
Not up, but back and down. So if you were to do, for example, a band row, you'd want to pull the shoulders back like you're trying to pinch a pencil in between your shoulder blades, but also simultaneously try to put your shoulder blades in your back pockets. You have to be able to deactivate those upper back muscles when you're doing that. Slowly over time, you'll be able to press overhead while maintaining that. But right now, if I have you lift your arm overhead, almost inevitably, you're probably shrugging your shoulders. And so that's what's happening. So deep tissue massage and correctional exercise would be the way to go.
And what that might look like is not doing much of any shoulder specific exercises for the time being until you get really good at that, retracting and depressing the shoulders and things like the seated row or the band pull aparts, like getting really good at that. And then when we decide to reintroduce shoulders, so if you were a client of mine, we'd take a break off of it for a while. I'd really focus on that movement to where you feel really good and comfortable with retracting, depressing the shoulders. Then as we start to feel like, okay, I feel like I'm getting better and we're getting relief here. Okay, let's start to introduce shoulders. But before we introduce it, I'm always going to prime your body with those movements first. Mm-hmm. So before you ever go, so forever, you should do that before you go do shoulder stuff for sure. But for the time being, I would probably eliminate shoulder pressing and movements like that for now until you start to feel really good with the retracting and depressing.
Yeah, it just has to be very intentional. Like after you go through this process of mobility and kind of getting your shoulders set into, to a degree where you feel stable, taking that extra time in between every single rep to make sure that you're positioning yourself well, you're maintaining that posture, you're keeping that shoulder back and down. In some ways to do that too, to strengthen that, is to do like farmer walks, but with really good posture with that, lightweight, but then also to, use suitcase carries or you can do like a shoulder packing with a kettlebell, but this is just where we add a bit of load to what you're already doing. So that way, you get that kind of stimulus so you stay strong with that, that sequence that you're trying to establish.
What's tough about this, Megan, is it's actually very simple fix. It was very common for me to get.
But tough to do it yourself.
But yeah, doing it on your own because you have a movement pattern that's just going to show up. I could try something with you right now on camera if you want to try it, and we can see if we can kind of isolate what's going on. You have a t-shirt underneath your jacket. Would you mind taking the jacket off? Okay. So what I'm going to have you do is let's have you stick one arm straight up in the air like you just did a shoulder press. Okay. Now keep your arm straight and see if you could drop that shoulder down. Oh, almost. You see how your elbow wants to bend?
Yep.
Okay.
Pull the shoulder blade.
Keep your arm straight. Do it again. Straighten your arm, but pull the shoulder down. Pull it down. Pull it down. Shoulder down. Down. Good.
It down.
Now hold that position for me. And I want you to bring the shoulder back down. I saw it come back up. Yeah. Bring it down. Okay, hold that. Now, while holding that, Take the opposite ear and bring it down to your shoulder, but slowly. You feel a little stretch there?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
there you go. Hold that position and practice that movement with both sides.
Yep.
Okay, practice that right there, both sides, but you got to keep the shoulder down. It's going to creep
Yeah.
up on you.
You see how can you feel how it wants to pop up when you stop
And
thinking
then-
about it
and
for a
then
second?
the arm wants to come forward, you know.
Yeah.
So
Try the other side,
all
too.
those
Let's-
little nuances.
Let's balance this out a little bit. Let's do the other side. So straighten it out. Now bring the shoulder down first. Bring it down. Bring
Oh,
it down.
that one's better.
Oh, that's a bad one right there. Keep your head tall, by the way. Don't tuck your chin the way you are. There you go. Bring the shoulder down. Now try bring your ear down again on the other side a little bit. Right there. Hold that. How's that feel? So what might help even is if you hold on to something with that hand that's up in the air. That might help you bring the shoulder down while doing that stretch. And that could take some of the tension off. But do you see how hard it was for you to isolate that movement while keeping your arm overhead? Okay. So that's kind of what we're dealing with. Do you have,
holding your arm behind you and then pulling your shoulder back and down?
that's another one. Do you have,
Yeah, that's something.
do you, yeah, there you go. Do you have access to like a really good trainer or maybe someone who can do correctional exercise with you?
Like a movement specialist.
I'm not sure. I'd have to look into it. I'm in like a rural part of Iowa, so I think
Okay.
there's like 2 trainers in a 45-mile radius.
Okay. Well, let's do this. Do you have Maps Prime Pro?
I don't. I just have Muscle Mommy.
Okay, we're going to send you Prime Pro, and in there's scapula mobility movements. Those are the ones I would want you to look at.
Yeah.
And what Sal just taught you right now is something that you can practice all day long.
I would practice
throughout the
that,
day.
yeah.
Every time you if you find yourself sitting at the computer or desk for a while and you haven't done that, take a little 2-minute break, do that on each side. And a lot of this is just retraining the brain neurologically to be able to do that. So it's not like we have to go train and exercise really hard to fix this. It's really just getting in the routine of the ability. Like you want to get to a place where on command, you can do that like quick and easy.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's when you know and that's a good thing to try and practice. The better you are at doing that, the easier it's going to be to apply it when you're exercising.
Okay. Thank you.
You
Yes,
got it.
yep.
Well, all right. Thanks, Megan.
Thanks.
You know what's tough about that is I used to get clients like that all the time. I would fix that in a week.
You said it perfectly. It's very easy to fix. It's very difficult for a person to know how to do it themselves.
because she can't move
Like
that
even
way.
with you
'cause
doing
you
it on
can't watch
camera,
yourself.
You can see if I was there, I'd be able to put my hands
right,
on
and if you weren't cueing her what she was doing wrong, she wasn't going to adjust and
wouldn't
fix
even
it.
know.
Yeah. So if you're not like don't let it slide up, you just let it slide up. Like you can see that and give feedback. It requires that. So even though it's such a simple thing, it's really difficult to. I mean, again, this is why.
This is why we have our test with the wall.
Yeah, and
So
this
you
is
have some
why
feedback.
our profession exists. Like
Well,
really
that's it.
good coaches and trainers have this ability to see that
Totally.
and then help somebody figure that out for themselves. Like it's just something you can watch a million YouTube videos on that,
Yeah.
and it's like tough to piece that together.
Totally. Look, if you like our show, head over to mindpumpfree.com. We have a fat loss guide. It's free. Gives you steps on how to lose body fat easy and sustainably. You can also find us on Instagram. Justin is at mindpumpjustin. I'm at mindpumpdestefano. And Adam is at mindpumpadam.